I'm so glad to see all these faces. It's so good. If for those of you who don't know me, my name is Keith Turner. I am a graduate of the Institute and a chef on the California food truck. So, yeah, that's right. I had quite a year, guys. I'll just start from the beginning, and I'll try to rip it off like a Band-Aid. It's gonna be real heavy, but I'm gonna give you a spoiler. I'm right here telling you the story. So when it gets heavy, just look up and you'll be fine. Okay. So last July, mid to late July, I got COVID, and I didn't have the light symptoms that everybody else did. I felt like I was going to die for about 3 days, and during one of ththose times, I'm going to give you some stories along the way too. I had a crazy high fever. I was just trying to get to sleep, and I passed out, I guess. I woke up the next morning, and my fever was gone, and I started kind of on an upswing. I felt better for the rest of the week, and then I developed a little cough over the weekend, and I didn't think very much of it. So I kept my quarantine 10 days, and I had a low-grade fever and still a slight cough. So I went to HFC to make sure that everything was okay. And by the time I got there, it was the next Friday. I had zero energy. I was just struggling just to get out to the car to get to HFC. And when Jamie checked my pulse ox, it was in the high 80s dipping into the 70s, which if you guys don't know, that's real bad. That's organ failure, that's real bad stuff. Most people were surprised I was still conscious at that point. So a friend took me to the ER, and they admitted me, and I woke up 12 days later. Had no clue how long I had been there. So basically what happened in that time was they intubated me. I was on a vent for the 12 days. They completely sedated me, had me on all kinds of painkillers and stuff. And I had COVID lung, and I guess that's what they call it, and pneumonia. So they treated me with tons of antibiotics and eventually got me off of the vent. Thankfully, I woke up, like I said, 12 days later, and I didn't know human beings could feel as bad as I felt. Legitimately, I don't even know how to describe it to you. My body just felt like it was going to fall apart. But when I woke up, I had this moment where I was like, I feel so bad, and I do not want to feel this way anymore. And I just knew I had a decision that if I fought it, I could stay alive. And if I didn't want to fight it, then it would be over really soon. And so that's a pretty heavy moment, right? So I just started praying. I was like, Lord, I remembered the dream that I had. Lord, put me back together. So I knew he'd be with me. It's like, what do you want me to do? And he reminded me of those passages that Paul was like, it's better for me to stay than to go be with the Lord. And I started thinking about all of you. I started thinking about my family. And in that moment, I was like, I can't be a selfish jerk and just give up. So I was literally laying in a bed with zero strength at all. I could barely roll over in bed. And my feet were touching the bottom of the bed. So I was like, Lord, this is all I got. I can pump my feet and move them. And that's going to be the sign that I'm fighting. So just meet me. And started getting better. Started climbing out of the ICU hole that I was in, and they released me to the rehab floor, the 4th floor, not knowing that I had some more complications that were coming. So I was on the 4th floor. I think that whole period was about a month. So I was released to rehab about a month in, and then about 3 or 4 days after I was in rehab, my lungs collapsed, and my O2 stats went down into the 50s the night that they collapsed. So they really were scared that they weren't even going to get me back to the ICU. They did, thankfully. So I was kind of sit for a loop, man. I'd never experienced anything that hard, that challenging. But I had a lot of you to call and to get comfort from. And if you want to know the importance of a biblical education, like Ben was talking about, the Lord, because of the relationships that I have with all of you and teachers like Lori and Ben, I was able to think through my experience through the eyes of the Lord, through the faith that he wanted me to have. And I was able to just say, I'm going to continue to fight. So I would reach out to Adam Leffler. I reached out to tons of people because during this time it was like a high COVID alert time. So no one could come see me for about a month and a half. And so that kind of contact with FaceTime and text was what I had. And the Lord used it so much to keep me sane. There's this thing called ICU psychosis, that if you're in the ICU for about 2 to 3 weeks, your brain can just like go somewhere because it's so intense. But the Lord protected me from that. I did not lose my mind because I was able to reach out. I had this network of people who I knew were praying for me. And look, guys, when I heard that all you guys were praying for me like night and day, whew, man, that was like, talk about lifting your soul. And this is another day I was talking to Ryan Roberts, and he told me, I think the whole academy is praying for you every morning and every night in there, or every afternoon in their Bible classes. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, Lyric said something, and then it just spread. So you got the whole academy praying for you. That was a good day, guys. It was like a real good day. You know, good things are going to happen when those kids are praying for you. So let's see, another month went by. Went up to 60 days now? Yeah. And it was just kind of a waiting game at that point. My lungs had holes in them at this point because the ventilator pushes so much pressure into your lungs that it can sometimes poke holes. So that it actually allowed bacteria to get in there, and more details that are horrible. So anyway, they were taken care of, right? The Lord was using the people that were around me to bring me back to health. He was using your prayers and my prayers, the faith that we had together to like really keep me alive. So let's see, I'm trying to think of the timeline. So after that 2 months was up, I went to the progressive care unit, which was basically like a step down from the ICU. And I was kind of out of the woods at that point. Still really weak, I could barely walk with a walker, maybe 10 or 15 steps, and then I would have to sit back down and just rest, try to do it again for my physical therapy. So during that time, I just continued to pray and keep my mind focused really on things that were not my current experience. Like the idea that we have a choice to step out in faith and see our situation from the perspective that God wants to see it is a very real thing moment to moment, especially when you're real close to death. And so this is the great part. I had all of you to pray for. I would stop, and if I was feeling anxious or whatever it was, I had some panic attacks when no one could come visit me because it was just so much on my body. And I would like to stave them off or to get rid of them. I would just start praying for all of you guys because I knew that you were praying for me and the Lord could connect us in that way. So yeah, the rest of the time I was kind of on the uptick and it was great. I was healing quickly. The doctors were amazed. Like they took my trach out and I could talk immediately. They thought I wouldn't be able to do that for a month or so. Everything that was a marker for them, the Lord just made it happen so much faster than anybody could think of. I was supposed to be in the rehab floor for about 3 weeks. I was there for 6 days. Every day I got stronger, like doubled in strength. I was barely walking without a walker around my room the first day I got in there. And on the 6th day, I was walking around the whole floor and then doing my PT. So when the Lord was ready to get me out of there, it was pretty quick. And really all of the things that I needed, all of my needs were taken care of. The Lord took care of my financial needs. My friends in California were paying my rent while I was in the hospital. They were making sure that all of my bills were taken care of, so I didn't have to worry about that. They were, doing so many things for me, all the logistical things I needed. A lot of you guys were texting me and giving me sweet messages. A lot of people sent me encouragements, which were so helpful and so needed at the time. So I started getting back to life. I got out of the hospital in October, went in August, got out in October, and then went to my parents' house for about 3 or 4 months to just recover because I needed someplace that was nice and quiet. And they're retired, so it was real chill, guys. It was like really nice. Lots of ice cream, lots of Oreos. Sorry, Jamie. I know that's not the best, but it helped. It helped. So, it was a great experience, and I can really, truly say that the Lord used everyone here, and the faith that, like, there was a point where Rachel Olson sent me an encouragement, and in the encouragement, she said, "We're praying for you, and our faith can carry you." Like, I felt like that paralytic that they dropped in front of Jesus through his roof, their friends they had the faith for that guy, because I was unconscious for a month, guys. It had to work, like I couldn't pray for myself. So thank you all. Yeah, I mean, it was just amazing to see what the Lord was willing to do for a group of people who loved each other. And for me, I'm so thankful. Every day when I see you guys, I get just as excited for other reasons. I'm like, yes, these guys prayed for me for so long and were so gracious and kind and loving, and I'm so thankful for that. So to bring you up to the present, I am now almost at full-time hours with California on a food truck. Pretty physical work, and I'm able to do it. I pretty much just go to sleep right after work, but it's fine. Baby steps, guys. I'm working at it. They told me it would be about a year from October until my body is like fully recovered, and the lungs and all of the organs that were damaged, all that stuff. But I've got the Lord and I've got you guys, and I'm so thankful for all of those things. So thanks for listening, and I love you guys.